Hello there, YouTube. This is going to be another miniature stove build. I thought I'd show some of the build on this. These hinges are made by just bending the metal over this piece of rod or coat hanger and then squishing it down. And most of the time, one side will be flatter than the other side. It's just the way I squish it with the pliers. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera there. Maybe you can see there. Find something for a pointer. See how it's more rounded on the top? It's just the way I squish them, just with a common pair of pliers. If you watched my video stereo scrap, this was out of a transformer. This is a pretty good, tough little metal. When I cut the transformer apart, I ended up with some pieces this wide. Okay, and the door is just double folded tin off an air freshener can. I like this. You can cut this with heavy scissors. I doubled it so it would be stronger. Okay, and this is 2 1/4 inch square. Okay, so this hole is only about 2 inches, and then I cut the corners off, so it's 8-sided. I want to make one that I can actually use to heat up my coffee on. I do not know how I'm going to put the air. Sometimes when I build stuff, I don't know what it's going to be till it's done. I just use this as a reference for the bottom of the can. And I always throw in there, burn your glue off. This time I got lucky. It was right in here somewhere. Burn your glue off. Try to heat it up, get it off there. I use a butane torch. Leave that stuff on there, you're going to burn your fingers on it. Okay, we'll show it so far here. I should use a piece of wire coat hanger instead of my expensive brazing rod for what it costs. It's like $12 a pound, but that's what I had laying on the desk again. A little 1/8 inch rivet. I made sure they was going to clear the door. This is doubled. And this is the folded edge. I put the nice folded edge here. I just fold it over and I lay it on a metal, like say like this, anything, piece of metal, or I have my little anvil up there. Then I'll take a nice edge of a block of wood, you know, like a nice clean edge, and hammer it down. Because you put pliers and stuff, it's going to look crappy. It's going to be all dented up. The corners I kind of bent up a little bit right here, so as it closes, it doesn't catch. I think I'm going to like this. This piece is kind of rounded, and when you make the holes in these, find where you want the hole, squeeze it with a pair of vice grips. My hobo stove uses charcoal. I showed how I have that held with the vice grips when I drill that, and this stuff drills very easy. Just like this tin, you can poke right through it. You can poke through it with an awl. AWL all poker. I make them out of different stuff. Don't have one laying there. But that's the build so far. We don't want to ramble on too long. We want to show the details. I don't know how I'm going to make this door latch, but that'll be next. Then I'll also show how I make my stovepipe. I'm going to have a little trouble at the back because I can't keep the bottom on this can. So I might do my thing where I make little L brackets out of aluminum. And I got these out of a stereo too. Throw that in there. If you watch my video stereo scrap, they might be long and boring. I show all the junk you can get out of an old house stereo. These were the Heatsink. And I have like 2 dozen of these. These were your Heatsink that took the heat out of the, which I call them power output modules, finals. Like a radio has a final in it. This is nice aluminum. I cannot tell you how thick this is. This you can score with a utility knife and break it. And that's what I used on that one. That's what I used on that one. This one won't have to be as neat. This one's going to be used all the time. I didn't care what color this was. It may be painted someday, but I think I covered most of the beginning details. It's not that complicated. Just take your time, practice. If you've never done this stuff, you can do this stuff. Like I said, the hinge tends to get flatter on one side. I use that to my advantage. Okay, we'll stop there so we don't make these too long. Okay, this is what we came up with. Just a slot in that piece of metal. I suppose I could have made it backwards. You could have made it the other way, not backwards. You could have put the slot in this piece of metal and had it go over this one. This doesn't have to be really that long. You don't want it to be. Any kind of tin will work. I have a diamond blade from my Dremel. I cut a lot of tin with. These will cut a lot of tin. Just be careful, don't abuse them. I have 2 of these, and I've used them for a long time. They're hard to get started because the diamond stuff is on the sides and not on the edge. So it takes a little burning to get started in the tin, but they last longer than cutter blades. If you ever use the Dremel, you'll know what I mean. This could be tightened up. It has a double nut on it with a tooth washer in between it. It could be tightened up. I don't want it too tight. I want to be able to close it. Get on camera here. Okay, there we go. Pretty soon we'll be showing you how I make my little chimney on there. It's just simple pie cuts. And the legs, we have no idea yet. I thought I'd add this in here. This aluminum flashing, this is about a 1 1/4 inch piece of pipe. I kept wrapping this around here, and I put a bunch of electrical tape. Then I'll put a rivet here. This will be the top of my little stove pipe. And I'll slowly move out. I'll slowly slide this off here, even if I have to drill through the tape. When I first start, I have tape on here to hold it, but I'll cut that tape with the razor blade, and I'll slide this out and slowly start drilling holes and measuring and put my little rivets in there. It's the only way I can figure out how to do it. This stuff's tough, even though this is aluminum flashing it used for roofing. It's tough stuff to try to roll. But just a little tip and trick there. That's how I did the air freshener tin. Tape is cheap. Wrap it around there and get it tight. Okay, real quick, this will be the end of part 1 on this video. So I just went right to the tape. The rivets are too long, but oh well, no one sees it. I did mess up on the end. A little tip though, I slid it in. Drill if you have to drill on the piece of pipe. That's what I did. I messed up, I had it overhanging. I drilled these with it on the pipe. And this will be your last one that goes on the stove. We'll just pull the tape off. We're thinking about painting this black. Something a little different. Because it's not really going to burn off. It's not going to be that hot. I'm thinking about using tea light candles in that little stove. Like to keep a cup of coffee warm. There you go. Thanks for watching this part.